We do have Matt Ferrando versus Eric Downing. Matt forced the spider spawning deck again.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did.
Well, he went 3-0 in the first.
Yep.
And
there you get a look
he
at
is.
Matt Ferrando. Matt's one of the survivors of the neutral ground scene in New York.
Do you know, there are so many Magic players who will not recognize the words neutral ground, which is extraordinary, even to me, who, you know, it was a touchstone for the world of Magic.
There's a mulch.
And the mulch will get 1 island.
Put 2 creatures in the bin and a think twice.
A Lantern Spirit is one of them.
Huh.
And a Fortress Crab
And there's
is
a
the other.
dream twist myself on the other side of the table from Eric Downing.
Really? Okay. Checklist card goes away. Maybe something like a Civilized Scholar. That fits
Sure.
quite nicely in that archetype.
Dream twist actually makes the plan a little tricky for the green blue deck. You got to be careful of shuffling cards in and then getting dream twisted.
Selhoff Occultist from Matt. It is so great to be here with you on GG's Live and Wizards of the Coast, co-presenting
Eric Downing.
our
Oh, the Ferrando
coverage
duel from Eric Downing.
off the Mikey P, as you refer to it.
Yes.
He made day 2.
He did make day 2. He lost a couple times. Seemed a little disappointed to, more than a little disappointed to not be
In the mix.
Yeah, in the mix.
I think that is one way that Magic has moved on, though.
There you get a look
is
at Eric Downing.
Yeah. Is you do find that some of the great players from the past can use their fundamental skills in Sealed to outplay and outthink and outbuild people.
You see an Ambush Viper takes down the Feral Ridgewolf. 2 triggers from the Selhoff Occultist. Matt targets himself both times.
Moon Heron.
We're going to see a Stitch Drake stitched together through a Shimmering Grotto mana.
Once you get to draft, though, so many people draft a lot that unless you have put the time in on Magic Online or in real life, you do struggle against the grinder, hard-working draft players. You do see a real slippage from the people who go, I remember him from ages ago. Look he's made day 2.
Look at the mana going on in Downing's deck. He's got a Plains there, too.
Wow.
So we're at least 4 color.
And one would think if that's the deck that he's building, maybe he's heading for 5 for the flashback on Forbidden Alchemy.
Sure.
Random swamp here and there. I mean, he can
access
do it, of course, but maybe he's actually playing the 5-color special.
Oh, well, he's got Burning Vengeance, and that's what he's looking to do. Okay, there we see a Little Giant Smith.
Double Selhoff Occultist on the other side. So what are the plans of these decks, given that they're facing each other? Do you have any idea how that little dance works? Is there a...
Ferrando's got a lot of different plans in his deck. He can
Okay.
attack you with creatures. He can win with the spider spawning. He can burn. He can actually get up and burning. He also has 4 colors.
Right.
He's got Burning Vengeance. He's got Falcon Wrath Noble. So there's a lot of different ways for him to win. He can also, one of the things again is you can shift gears and then turn all your mill cards. You get enough spiders on the board, and that any kind of like alpha strike is going to result in multiple Selhoff Occultist triggers, and you just aim them at your opponent. You can run them out of cards.
Well, that's what I wonder, whether you can do that, or whether it's just so dangerous to be helping to put stuff in their graveyard.
Sure. Flipping an Iron Fang.
Is that a Kessig
I
Wolfrun?
believe that is a Kessig Wolfrun.
Ew.
Ferrando is kind of stalled here.
There's Eric Downing. Just see Alan Turtenwald on the left of screen in his winning in. Matthew Costa in the background. He's someone I'd like to see do well. I like Matthew Costa a lot. A really nice young man.
So Eric flashback the Dream Twist, targeted Matt, and put a couple more cards in his yard.
In with the Drake. And it's 14-9 in favour of Downing. That Ferrando has no Classic Wall front access yet.
For Legacy side event. 3 more players for Legacy.
That could yet be the difference here in the first game.
Sure. Well,
Because a mountain would make a big difference
certainly
to Matt right now.
you know, some greedy aspirations here in his deck, right? You know?
Sure.
Mulch does a lot of fixing for you.
So 3 more damage come through. There's Burning Vengeance in play, of course, for Downing, so... Checklist time.
Tapped 3. I'm going to say Civilized Scholar. No, I'm going to say Village of Asphalt. Oh, it's a Daybreak Ranger.
It's to bow time.
Third time's the charm.
There it is. Deranged assistant for Matt, who's down to 6.
The deck boxes back there? Yes, you. Yeah. Either way, that's pretty much what I said. Those are the next one. This is the next series. Take 4 or 5. Yeah, well, yeah, there's plenty back there. So, great.
Cultist will attack.
Make new water bottles? Yeah, Tasha doesn't care about germs, so all the unclaimed water. No, I understand. You don't drink it? I have hands on it. I wash my feet every now and then.
Some rowdy judges in the background there.
It's the word that just tends to apply to them, really.
And Matt falls to 3.
3.
No. Well, maybe.
We see red spells in hand for Ferrando.
Multiple. So another Burning Vengeance.
Oh boy.
Play that. Cast Geist Flame. Flashback Geist Flame.
Yes.
Now Matt goes to 2. Nope, he does not have the Knot of the Bone.
Put you to
2
death.
Rapid China players preparing for the 4th and final round are now being posted.
So there's Eric Downing, who has taken the opening game against his New York opponent, New Jersey opponent.
By the way, Jackie Lee.
Yes.
Lee rhymes with she, not he. It has been pointed out to me on Twitter by Megan Holland. It's a female Magic player, not a...
No, I understood that. I just did not realize that.
Yeah.
As the saying goes, there was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Ferrando.
He gets he's I believe "Don't Call My Name" on Twitter, which comes from a more modern pop song.
All right. Obviously not something I would be aware of.
A double Burning Vengeance from Eric Downing there. Look very good. Clearly do not want to mill your opponent unless you're killing them.
No. Interesting that both decks are greedy in terms of colours.
Oh, sure.
Is that a byproduct of the archetypes themselves, or is that about the fact that this is a known... The Scrabble for cards is meaning that you're starting to have to...
You want to get a critical
spread yourself
mass
out?
of cards. A lot of the cards will help you... Shimmering Grotto makes it a lot easier to be greedy with some extra colors.
Yes.
A lot of times the fourth and third or fourth splash will be a pretty soft splash. Which can be accommodated by a dual land, accommodated by a grotto. But I mean, a lot of times you just need enough cards, right? Like you need enough creatures to play your spider spawning deck. So you're like, okay, well I'm already playing black. Well, I'll play this Falconwrath Nova.
Yep. I've got to say, I think that this kind of coverage is fabulous for many, many things. One thing it isn't great at, because it just can't be, is when you watch All Day today, what you see is God, there's an awful lot of green, black, blue spider spawning running around, isn't there? And, of course, you have to remember that somewhere out there, playing for the top 16 somewhere, is red-white aggro against green-white aggro with every human that costs 1, 2, and 3.
Marshall Sutcliffe's deck for this second draft. He basically slammed a Mayor of Averbrook with his first pick, very decidedly to the table.
To the table,
and ended up in green-white. Has 5 travel preparations.
Pardon?
5 travel preparations, only 4 of which he's playing with.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Yeah, so it's always it was one of the reasons I wanted to go and see what all 8 were playing at table 1, because it's interesting to see how cards divide up. And again, on Magic Online, you rarely get to explore that unless you're pretty dedicated and you decide to, once you're out, you play the matches from the previous round. And go, oh, right, okay. So that's what 8 decks look like out of a draft, which is always interesting.
To me, though, this deck is kind of a little bit the story of the tournament, because this is a deck that is widely considered by most pros to be the best limited deck.
Yeah.
So, is it open? Can you do it? Is it, how real is it? Does it live up to the hype? And again, it's not something we've seen at the other limited events so far. This stretch of
in a stretch season.
Yeah.
It's one of those italic things, isn't it? It's like
both players are going down to 6.
Yeah. Spider Spawning is the best deck, italics, if you can get it.
Sure.
Close. And it's that second part that arguably has been the story of the weekend.
And I think this is an interesting showdown here, because this is really a collision of the 2 pro pet decks of the last month or so on Magic Online, because prior to all the hype around the blue-green deck, the Burning Vengeance archetype, something that Owen had written extensively about, and Luis had done some videos about, and people were really excited about, the Burning Vengeance archetype was a big, I believe the term the kids like to use is hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo?
Yeah, it was a big hullabaloo about it. They don't really like to say that.
Were they getting in a tizzy about it?
Don't be silly.
Okay. Well, heaven forbid.
Players give each other's decks one last shuffle before they see if 6 cards is something they can work with. One of the things I love about the deck that Matt's playing, as opposed to maybe the deck that Eric has, is this deck is capable of some really is able to mulligan pretty robustly, thanks to the mulch.
Okay. So Matt says, "Yeah, I'm good," and starts, and then wait. Eric's thinking about whether to keep his 6. He has blue and red. And it's the other way.
I think Ferrando had just said you could play first originally.
Right.
Both players are, running, 4 colors. So here's an Iron Fang.
Village Iron Smith right now. Iron Fang down the line. There is your turn 2 mulch. Civilized Scholar, 3 land.
A disappointing mulch, right? He's going to discard one of those.
Yep. Up to 8 cards. Kessig Wolfrun. One day could be relevant in this. Wasn't in game 1. Never saw red.
Discards a forest. Keeps the Ironsmith from Sprout and Whiskers.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Dark Ascension will have Village Iron Chef? That'll pop in.
I certainly hope so.
I'm going to say I can see that being a BDM kind of card. So Lantern Spirits on either side of the table. The Ironsmith remains, but Ferrando's Spirit is not for this world, thanks to Geist Flame. Downing's
2.
Yeah, 2 cards left in Downing's hand. Plenty, of course, for Ferrando, thanks to that mulch. That doesn't mean he has a ton of action.
Right.
Taps out for 3/2 flyer in the
Players
form
in
of
standard
Moon Heron.
number 36 to the
Moon
right
Heron.
of the stage, please. Players in standard number 36 to the right of the main event stage, please.
2 lands in a checklist for Downing.
And we're reasonably certain that checklist card is the Daybreak Ranger.
So is he
We saw
going
that
to
there.
offer up the choice? He is, yeah.
And Ferrando will certainly take that trade. Okay.
Well, just not, in fact. And it's just going to come back.
He's like, I was curious, but I'm just going to keep my own Ironsmith from flipping.
Ah,
But I guess Matt could have attempted to. Well, he couldn't block the Ironsmith because of the Geist Flame.
first strike and then Geist Flame takes it out. Fortress Crab, 1-6.
He's like, you can flip that all you want now. I don't care.
3-1, you say? Why, that would be half of my toughness.
Couple of green cards stranded in his hand right now.
Yeah, things Downing ahead in the early game, but that Fortress Crab has changed things somewhat on the ground. And another mulch now from Ferrando. Let's see if he has a little better fortune this time around. I'm not sure he really has.
Players for booster draft number 39 to the right of the main stage, please. Players for booster draft number 38.
So the Heron
to right
comes
of the
in.
main stage, please.
The two players are just sort of trading damage at this point. I don't know what. There we go.
Austin Taylor
An
and
updated
Carl
life total.
Hendricks. Austin Taylor and Carl Hendricks.
There we
Your
go.
standard event is waiting for you.
Arguably with Downing struggling for the cards, it's a surprise that he wants to continue this back and forth. I would have thought he maybe wanted to just have more time because he can endlessly spend his turns
but he
replaying.
knows he's sitting on like a, he's got the Geist Flame. He's got, we can see a
Brimstone?
Brimstone Volley in his
Yep.
hand. So he can, he has a lot of reach. He can get there.
Okay,
and
so he feels that arguably he's in a race that he's winning.
he
Rather
has a very strong sprint.
Okay, because certainly on the right now he appears, and there you see Eric Downing once again. He appears to be losing this race on a 3-2 basis. There's Brimstone Volley.
That was, I assume, a 3-3.
So think twice from Downing. Drawn into Desperate Ravings for more
Which now
card
always
advantage.
gets more card advantage, but now he worries a little bit about maybe, do I lose my Daybreak Ranger as I find my forest?
Players in Commander number 18 to the main stage, please. Players in Commander event number 18 to the main stage, please.
So a reminder that you are looking at round 15, which is the last round of Swiss. More than 1,000 players came here yesterday morning to do their best through 9 rounds of Innistrad Sealed, and then 138 came back on Sunday morning, this morning, for 6 more rounds. Draft and 3, draft and 3. This is the 6th and final round of that. And you will see the winner here in the top 8.
He did find his forest, lost his Hamlet cap.
3 cards in hand for Downing. Ferrando attacks with his Moon Heron. Still got that Fortress Crab back. Yet another land, up to 8. He's had Kessig Wolf run both games, but still not a chance to do anything with it. Really nice story late last night, just as we were leaving the building. Guy in a Denver Broncos shirt, looking kind of conflicted. I was like, "What's up?" He said, "I have made my first ever GP Day 2. Fantastic, great stuff. And I can't play because I have a 3.5-hour flight back to Denver because I have tickets for the game."
Well worth it for him now.
Yeah.
Commander 18.
There's your Daybreak Ranger.
Come to the front.
In comes Lantern Spirit. Ferrando at 9, Downing at 8. And we go back to the man from New York, Matt Ferrando, who is going to tap 3 for Gnaw to the Bone. I would like to gain a lot of life and change the math completely, please. Gnaw to the Bone action has gone on from Matt Ferrando, and he is back up to 15. And he will continue to send his Moon Heron, because, well, why wouldn't you when you're 15 to 8 ahead instead of 7 to 8 behind?
Well, it's close to dying.
Downing at 5 now.
Plays Ambush Viper to keep his keep the Iron Fang from flipping. Could play it at the end of the turn, but then you suddenly have a first striker to deal with.
Turtenwald in the background, still going in his win and in.
Yep. Daybreak Ranger kills that.
And Lantern Spirit is looking like it's coming in, and yes, indeed it does. Ferrando 2 cards in hand. 3 for Downing. 2 of those are land. The last, I believe, is a Brimstone Volley.
Mm-hmm. Flash is back. You flashback, think twice, I assume?
That makes sense. 3 mana. Had it in there for some time.
Yeah, there is one more.
There's the Ridge Wolf.
That one's important.
There it is. 3 red available. Total of 6 mana. So he can turn that into a 7/2 Trampler.
Brando's going to gain a little more life at the end of this turn. Holding Runic Repetition, so you can gain another 20-odd life again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well that suggests to me we won't be far off a game 2 at some point then. Because once you get that...
Game 3.
Oh yeah, sorry, I mean game 3, a decider.
You're just used to all your deciders being game 2.
No, we've had some good ones this weekend. Some very good games.
Very good game. So he did, in fact, Runic Repetition for the Gnaw to the Bone. He's at 23, gained 10 life. So that Gnaw represents being able to go up to 43 this turn, if he wanted to.
And we're Downing at 5. Ultimately, Matt's in the kind of state where potentially, with that Fortress Crab sitting there with 6 toughness, if he finds red at some point, he just goes, well, here's Kessie Wolfrun, and it's a 15-6 Trampler.
I think we're getting a look at what the greed is all about for Eric Downing. I think he has a Geist of St. Traft in his deck.
Really? 1 blue and white.
I feel like I just... Okay, that goes to 21. $31.
And there is red. Red alert. Kessie Wolfrun is now available to Matt Ferrando. And Downing is at 5. Now that said, he's still got plenty of things on the table. And actually has quite a lot more on the table than Ferrando. That's not something you want to see arrive.
He's got 8 additional power he can pump out of that. Is that how much money he has? 11, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. 5, 7, 9, 11. Yep.
So he can get in for 9 with it trampling with his Fortress Crab. His opponent can put 2, 3, 7 toughness in front of it. He's like pretty happy.
So there's pump galore, but response. Brimstone volley.
Okay.
The first strike happened.
Yep.
And then kill it off. Trample, none.
Right. Matt's still at 33 here, right?
Is he up to 33 now?
Yeah, I believe so. We gained, 31. There you go. How did he flashback Geist Flame to kill the Ambush Viper? No.
So now the board is empty on Ferrando's side of the table. And I'd like to beat you up quite a lot. Like a lot. Is he going to go for the whole... He is. That'll be pumped 4 times. That's a 9-2 tramper. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that like 16 damage?
Yeah. I'm telling you, the Feral Ridgewolf hits hard.
Yep. And Eric Downing right now is a turn away. That pen on the top of your screen was almost certainly the judge just checking that the flip had happened correctly with Village Ironsmith and Iron Fang.
There is still a Knot of the Bone in Matt's yard.
Okay. That looks like think twice.
Is this a spider spawning for 5? Or 6? Or is it a Somber Walt spider? It is a Somber Walt spider. So the 2 creatures flip down. Matt played 2 spells this turn. But before it flips, it's going to fight the Somber Walt spider. And then the Somber Walt spider, then it's going to flip over. It's going to have taken 2 damage, and so the Daybreak Ranger's dead.
Ah. Village Ironsmith, Lantern Spirit, a potentially gigantinormous Feral Ridgewolf, faces nothing. 17-5.
Right. One of your mountains is tapped, Matt points out. Could be relevant.
Still pump 4 times. He's going to. 9-2. So 9, 10, 11, 12. Matt goes to 5.
Sure.
Gnaw to the Bone becomes a kind of fog.
Sure, exactly.
Pretty much
It's been compared to Moment's Peace, for sure.
Ah. So 1, 2, 3.
Gonna play Think Twice.
Yep. It's drawn Burning Vengeance, I believe.
Yes, he did. That's a pretty exciting card to draw here.
Is it enough?
Well,
He casts it.
at the very least, he's not dead.
Sure, because he can kill off the Ridgewolf. So this will be Gnaw to the Bone back again.
12 or for 14. Kill the Ridgewolf.
Yes. Wow. Downing so close to the top 8, and yet Ferrando's going to make it tight.
Attention players, status sealed event.
19 he's back up
Standings
to.
after 6
New
rounds
game.
now posted. Please double check these standings.
Still plenty of time left on the round. There's 18 minutes left.
Wow, this has been.
It's been a great game too.
There's the Shimmering Grotto. That means Geist of St. Traft will be online.
Find Ricky or are you technically still there or no? Find Ricky, and then if he doesn't have anything specifically, ask
Yep, that is a Geist of St. Traft. And then cast Think Twice.
He does not have Burning Vengeance though, which Matt
No.
Ferrando does. Downing at 5.
How many Brimstone Volleys are in Eric Downing's deck?
There are some on there, and is this Memory's Journey
It is.
from
So
Matt
the Memory's
Ferrando?
Journey, the Runic Repetition for sure. The Spider and the Splinter Freight, it looks like. Curious if he's not gonna shuffle in more cards just yet, which he can do.
Okay. So Ferrando untaps, looking at Geist of St. Traft, Village Ironsmith, and Lantern Spirit, but Sallow Occultist comes down for him. He has Burning Vengeance.
He offers up Wreath of Geist. He kills the Occultist in response. Matt Mills
Players
himself.
for Commander 19 to the front. Players for Commander 19 to the front.
Back we go to Downing. Gonna see some Geist action.
Attention players to the standard sealed event.
So that's
For the top
6,
8
six,
of that event,
seven,
please come up to the
9.
judge table to see me.
Which
Matt does have the option to prevent some of that by activating, flipping the memories, using the Memory's Journey to kill something
with Burning Vengeance.
with Burning Vengeance.
But if he does that, ultimately he's on a losing streak with the Geist of St. Traft that he can't ever target, constantly bringing back 4/4s. So Matt takes it all. Think twice. Flashback. There's a check card and Brimstone Volley, I believe. Here comes checklist, which represents
A Delver of Secrets.
okay. Matt draws. He's just got one card. He's looking. He flips it over, and blistering handshake out the gates from Eric Downing, who wins 2-0 after a fabulous game too.
His deck looks absurd.
fair.
He's got
Triple-
Daybreak Ranger, triple
Brimstone Volley,
triple Brimstone Volley, double Burning Vengeance.
double Think Twice, double Geist Flame. I think we've seen
We've
two.
seen
of
at
those.
least one.
Yeah. Well, since that's the last round, maybe we should get Eric Downing in and get him to tell us about his deck and how
And find out a little bit
that'll
about
came
him.
together.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to
That
get
would be great. Let's see if
we would
Rashad Miller
we would
can.
love if Rashad Miller could bring us Eric Downing over.
Eric Downing
Yeah.
from the feature match.